Hola, buenos días, soy Nico.
Leave me alone!
And today we're here for another wonderful week's worth of content. Well, yes, if you notice, my voice might be a little deeper today just because I've been fighting like throat irritation for the last 3 days. The easiest way to like circumvent it is just to talk in a deeper register. But today, that's not what you're here for. You're here for another Nico's Quick Chat. And today we're going to be talking about a gym TikTok influencer that essentially was upset that a gay man had the nerve to look in his direction. Nico! This is a video that actually went viral about a month ago, but I was just so busy traveling and then smacking bitches by the side of the necks that I did not have the time to actually sit down and have a conversation on this, but I really did want to, just because I feel like it's a conversation that we have time and time again, but we never like seriously address where it's rooted from. This is essentially about an influencer called NigelNudie, who, from what I could tell, is a gym talk influencer. He has a lot of videos in the gym. He has a lot of videos vlogging. Outside of that, I personally do not know what's interesting about him or what he does for a living. So he recently went viral on a live stream because he decided to log in and complain about his time at the store with his friends. Nico, what do you mean? Essentially, he said he started his day off, he was getting dressed, he had it on, he was dripping, but he decided to sag his pants because he had to accentuate his outfit. His shirt was a little short and his pants was a little low so you could see his upper cheeks. He eventually found fault with a gay man looking at him in a desirable way, and then when he turned around to confront him, the gay man made eye contact, which made him feel worse. I'm going to play you the video and then we're going to go deeper into this conversation.
Cam had bought some hoodies from Gap and returned some. Mind you, I was wearing this, like I'm sagging it, and my shirt little as hell. So like my cheeks be showing just a little bit, but who really looking? You know what I'm saying? So I was just looking around to see what they got and shit. And there was this dude who played for the other team, right? There was this dude who was, and I see him look at me, and I looked at him, and I was like, all right, cool. Like, whatever. I felt him like turn, like when I walked by him, I felt him like break his neck to look like out of my peripheral, like my radar just goddamn picked up on that. So I'm like, and then I'm sagging, mind you. So I'm like, all right. But I low-key got mad because why is you objectifying me like that? Like I'm a whole, like, man, and you feel me? So I was like, cool. I was pissed about it. I'm not gonna lie, I was pissed. Because what the f mean you looking at my ass? So I bust a U-turn. I don't avoid eye contact, but I feel like a girl that's getting catcalled by a man. And I'm like, am I a bitch? Like, so I look at him and we're making direct eye contact as I'm walking towards Buddy. And he's just staring at me. I'm staring at him and he ain't breaking eye contact. So I'm like, oh, is he... Who he feeling like? Like, do he think I'm fucking with him? Like, who he feeling like? So I said, yo, you good? He was like, yeah. And then he looked away. Right? So now I'm pissed. Like, I'm actually mad. Like, I'm teed up. So I get to the counter with Cam, and I'm like leaning on the counter like this, because Cam checking out and shit. I'm mad as fuck. I'm like, Twin, I'm pissed off. He's like, what happened? I'm like, buddy, yeah, just trying me, Twin. I'm mad as fuck. Then a dude come up in the line behind Cam, and I'm leaning on the counter like this. So I stand up straight, and I just feel awkward. Like, I'm really just like, way that I like feel his gaze on me, and he was with his boyfriend. And I just know he was saying, look at him so fine, woo, woo, woo. Well, I was in that, ooh, I was mad as fuck. Ooh, I don't even play like that. I said, yo, is you good? Bro. And wallahi, I've never catcalled a woman, made a woman feel uncomfortable, because I don't even play them games. I got sisters, I got nieces. That shit ain't even pee. Like, that shit ain't even that, Hey, fine shit, yo, sis. I don't even gotta do that. So the fact that it was getting done to me, I ain't like that. I'm a whole ass 220 pounds, 6'1" man of steel, and you got me in this uncomfortable. Now if I up this now I'm going to jail. Now I gotta answer for my crimes. But what about the crime of making me? I ain't like that, chat. I ain't like that, not one bit. I mean, that's the thing. I could play. I'm very comfortable in my sexuality, but hey, I really feel tried. Like you, it's like the same thing as like if a thug, you know, he looking at you, he not breaking eye contact because he think you sweet. He think he could try you up. If you look at a thug and he look at you, it's a mutual respect. Like, all right, break that eye contact for sure. We go our own ways. But sometimes you gotta take it there when somebody just wanna try you up. And I felt the same way with Buddy Ass, just in a different avenue. Imagine being a female. That's the same thing I told Cam. I was like, yo, man, I do. I'm right with the girlies. Everybody, why you been sagging your pants? I'm like, because I'm dripping. Like, I'm putting it on. But after that, today, I don't too much want to sag no more. And it was like, bro, it was a lot of them. Like, and I just felt like I couldn't escape it. Like, everywhere I turned, it was just dudes who play for the other team. And I was like, get me out of here. I was fed up at that point. I was right home. I said, night's over.
First and foremost, sagging, if you did not know, originated in prison as a sign that you were open for business. Same thing with the handkerchief in the back of your pants. So the fact that popular hip hop culture has normalized sagging on a mainstream, and now straight men are upset because a gay man might look at their booty butt cheeks because they have them out. What did you expect the outcome to be? What did you expect the outcome to be? And what really made me mad is because throughout this conversation, he's consistently victimizing himself and insinuating that just the glance of another man looking at him and then making eye contact and not breaking away like a scared little boy is the same as catcalling. He referred to a man not saying a singular word to him, but simply looking at him as catcalling. And yes, we can call it what it is. It's internalized homophobia. But I want to have this conversation to not put the moniker of, oh, every homophobic person has to be secretly gay. Because that's what a lot of gay people think. And personally, I'm not one of those people that thinks everybody that has a bit of homophobia in them is gay. It's simply, first and foremost, the times that you were raised in, the cultures that you were raised in, the nation you were raised in, because homophobia is alive and well in different countries or across the world. I mean, even in the US, if we're going to be real about it. So I'm not going to immediately jump to, oh, you just felt insecure in yourself as a straight man and you secretly want to be gay. Because when I went through the comments, I was reading the comments and it was mostly people going, oh, this is a sign. Oh, I'm going to come back to this in a year. Oh, this is clearly telling on yourself, blah, 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 blah. But what really stuck out to me was that he kept equivalating it to what women go through. He said, oh, I can't imagine being a woman. What really made him upset was not the fact that a gay man looked him up and down and found him attractive. Because if we're being honest, gym talk people, fitness inspo, Instagram baddies, most of their aesthetics are paved towards the male view. Nico, stay with me. Women don't normally find like the super roided out, veiny, muscular bodybuilders hot. Yes, they find the aesthetic of a tall, built man attractive, but the theatrics and the emphasis on the masculine form is more of a male thing. Like, even if we're taking away the homoeroticism of it, a lot of men look at bodybuilders. Women don't look at bodybuilders. Men look at bodybuilders either to get that form for themselves or out of attraction. So if we already going to acknowledge that most of your fan base is probably men, you coming online to say that you felt insulted and offended that he had the nerve to look at you up and down and then make eye contact with you like you was a woman, it shows that a lot of men are afraid of gay men doing to them what they do to women, whether it be catcalling, whether it be elongated glances, whether it be undisturbed eye contact. They're afraid that other men will treat them like they treat women. That's why he kept making references of, oh, I'm not no or oh, I'm not no girl or something like that, because he's trying to rationalize why he felt so uncomfortable that a man would simply look at him. And I'm going to be the first one to tell y'all, one of my first videos on here was about consenting club culture, because I remember when I was first going to clubs and going to bars, men would just grab you. Men would just literally grab you by wherever they wanted to get your attention. And I remember when I said that's not okay online, I had waves of men coming in saying, well, if you didn't want to get grabbed, why'd you go outside? If you don't want no man to grab you, why'd you go to the club with your friends? You clearly wanted to. So the fact that he tried to compare a glance to somebody physically accosting, verbally catcalling you, physically grabbing you, it angered me, because you're literally letting your own insecurities and your own, let's put it this way, homophobia and misogyny radiate out of you and project onto this person that simply looked you up and down. Because I'm not going to come out here and say the man's not attractive. His entire brand is built around him being a gym head and attractive. So boom, bam. But if we're going to sit here and say someone can't look at you while you're in public, what is wrong with you? Especially because it wasn't like no creepy thing. He was making it seem like, oh, well, you know, he just looked at me. Okay, he ain't say nothing. He ain't try to touch you. He ain't try to come hither. He just looked at you. I don't understand it. I don't understand. And once again, I genuinely do not feel like this is because he's secretly gay. I genuinely feel it's because it made him feel like, quote unquote, less of a man to be put in a situation that women have to endure daily. But that's just my personal opinion. How did you guys feel? If you saw this video before this video, what was your original thoughts on it? How did you feel? How do you feel about straight men outwardly coming forward saying, I'm okay with gay people, but just don't try to convert me. I'm okay with gay people, but just don't look at me. I'm okay with gay people, but just don't try to flirt with me. When in reality, most of the men that say these things would never get a second glance from a living human being. Male, female, gay, or straight. If we're being quite honest, it's usually people that are not secure in themselves that try to make themselves feel better by pushing someone else down when it's not necessary. Like, I don't understand the point of, oh, somebody looked at me, and then making up fictitious scenarios saying, oh, they probably turned to their boyfriend and said, oh, I want some of that, him so handsome. Basically hyping himself up in somebody else's mind in his own victim story. Like, it's so weird. It's so weird to me. But with that, I'll leave the conversation up to y'all. Have y'all ever been in a situation where you found someone attractive and all you did was simply glance in their direction and you felt anger radiate off of them? Because he was making it seem like he was ready to get belligerent and violent because a man had the nerve to look at him while he was fully clothed. This is another thing. If this was a situation of someone pressing your personal boundaries, such as we're all in the gym locker room, you're changing, somebody looks at you, that's one thing. You in the middle of a store fully clothed. So what if somebody looks at you? I mean, if it's creepy, it's creepy, but a glance is not that like detrimental, especially with like elongated eye contact. Maybe it's because I make eye contact all the time that I just don't see the issue in it. But before I start to ramble, I'll leave the conversation up to y'all because I feel like this is a conversation that we need to have, that it's not always because someone is homophobic that they're secretly gay. Could he possibly be gay or bisexual? Maybe. I don't know. But in this situation, he made it fairly clear that it was because he was being put on the same footing as women, being catcalled and or ogled. Meanwhile, he just caught a glance in public. But with that, I'll leave the conversation up to y'all, and I'll see you guys next time for the main channel videos. Boop.